So, in continuation with the verses what we are learning, now we will take the verse number 13 and try to understand the namas and the qualities what has been described by Vedavyasa through Bhishmacharya. So, let us see the verse first. Rudro Bahusira Bhabru Vishvayonis Sushishravah Amrdasasvadastanur Vararoho Mahatapah Rudro Bagushira Bhabr Vishvayonis Sushishravah Amrdasasvadastanur Vararoho Mahatapah. Let us see the meaning of each of the namas. If we go with the namas as per the Adi Shankaracharya's commentary, we are now in 114th nama. 114th nama, the beautiful nama given by Vishnu Sahasranamam is Rudraha. Rudhrayati ithi Rudraha. One who wards out all your dukkha's is considered to be the Rudra. Rudhrayati iti Rudraha. So one who gets out of all the sorrows, the dukkha's what we have. The dukkha's mostly what we have is all the mundane life dukkha. Samsara dukkha. So we are always in the dukkha. What is the dukkha we have? Because we are always expecting something to be happening and those things are not happening. So we always have dukkha. Not only that, because of comparison, we have dukkha. Because someone is having what I don't have. Comparison, we have dukkha. And also we have dukkha because I am not having the thing which I don't, I'm having a thing which I don't like. So both the places we always have dukkha. So when this dukkha is there, only one person who can get you out of the dukkha is Rudra. That's why we have a beautiful chanting called Rudram, Rudra Jabam, to get rid of all the sorrows. In Veda, we always say the three important peoples or Trimurtis we have. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. And Maheshwara, who is the person responsible to bring the Pralayakala. So now how we understand the Pralayam of Shiva's Rupa is nothing but transformation from one stage to other stage. The one who creates the transformation, the one who initiates the transformation, the one who gives the wisdom of you to change from one state to another state is considered to be the Rudra. So I'm stuck with something, right? So I'm always sticking with something. I'm comfortable with something. I am in the comfortable zone. I don't want to change myself. You need Rudra to change yourself. So Rudra is a person who can make you change in the process of evolution. It's very important. You cannot stick with what I was like a child. See, today in the life, you cannot say the person who is child, he has a childhood knowledge, right? So say, for example, a child of 6 years will be different. When you see the child and then the way that the child talks and all, it's always really fantastic and wonderful and excellent to watch all the child, the activities done by the child. But the same child, after 16 years, if it is going to do the same activity, then we question the child because it could not be a childhood activity during that time. Because 16 years should act like a 16 years. That means what? Your 6 years is gone and 16th year has come to that. See, I'm just giving you big gap, but still, I'm asking you to understand this point. The 6-year age of the childhood experience is gone, but the teenage level of thinking has come. After the teenage, the adulthood will come. After the adulthood, you will become more mature. The family manship will be coming. And after the family manship, you semi-retire. And after the semi-retirement, you will go for the retirement. And then you resign from many things. So this step-by-step process of understanding yourself. So you get rid of one stage, go to the next stage. Get rid of one stage, going to the next stage. What is that what you are doing? You are also getting into the vibe and the mode of the Rudra. So the Rudra always travels with you. So that is what is called Rudra. So Rudra is not something else which we are trying to see from outside. Rudra is a process of transformation within you. So you change. Any change happens is because of Rudra. A season changes Rudra. A season changes Rudra. Weather changes Rudra. Everything goes with the Rudra. Because any change is considered to be the activity of the Rudra. It's a beautiful understanding. It's a beautiful concept by looking at it. That's why they say called as Pralayaka. We just don't look the Shiva only as destruction. So that is the concept what has been given wrongly. The notion is given wrongly as Shiva is destruction. No, Shiva is change. A change master. He makes you change. He wants you to change. And everything happens to change, because without any change, you are not going to survive here. The process is that you have to undergo the change. Everything has to go to change. You cannot eat the raw rice. You have to cook. The rice need to be cooked as a cooked rice. Then only you can eat. Same way you cannot have the vegetables. So you have to cook. So the vegetable from the rawness has to be cooked. So it changes. So any change happens because of the effect of Rudra. So anywhere you can see that the Rudra, the impact of Rudra, the effect of Rudra is always the concept, the principle of Rudra is change which has to happen. It's a beautiful understanding. Another way of defining this word Rudra is one who makes you cry. So this is something which we think is a bad. No, it is something which is on the other side. And the happy tears, what you get. The happy tears, what you get in your eyes. When you chant certain names, you get your happy tears. When you listen to a beautiful bhajan, you get happy tears. When you are in somewhere, that is also a transformation. Understand? When it comes, see, the tears comes to you without any stopping to a beautiful, beautiful positive vibration. When it comes to you, that means you are transformed. So that is the impact of Rudra. Correct? So it says, beautiful sloga, it goes for Hanuman. It says, Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam. Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam. Tatra Kritamasta Kanchalim. Bhashpavarim Paripurna Lochanam. Namadam Marutim Rakshasanta. Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam. Wherever you sing the name of Rama. Wherever you say the name Rama, chant Nama, Kirtanam of Rama. Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam. Tatra Kritamasta Kanchalim. See, that place, Tatra, wherever you chant the Rama Nama, that place, Tatra Kritamasta Kanchalim, with the hands on the top of their hand, Kritamasta Kanchalim, with the Kritagnya, Bhashpavarim Paripurna Lochanam, with all, see, the tears are flowing from the eyes. Imagine Hanumanji sitting like this with the two hands on the top and then crying because he is hearing the Rama Nama. Bhashpavarim Paripurna Lochanam. Namadam Marutim Rakshasanta. So this is the Maruti's impact. So Maruti can only be called because if you just call Rama, he will be there. It doesn't matter. Whoever says the Kirtanam of Rama, whoever talks about the Rama, whoever talks about Kirtanam of Rama, Kirtana means even you state the story, you chant the name, you read the verses of Ramayana, wherever you do it, you always, still now we have the practice of Putta Pitam. and light a lamp, and we assume that Hanumanji is sitting there and listening. How he is listening? With the tears. Bhashpavarim paripurna lamcha. So now what I'm saying is this is called Bhashpam. Bhashpam means the beautiful, happy tears which flows from you. That means what? It's the full surrender by which you will get it. So Rudra will give you that. Rudra means you surrender. So when you surrender, when you listen to that God, something happens within you. There is a transformation which happens that makes you cry. That makes you cry outburst yourself, right? Sometimes you go to deity's temple and then you just watch the temple. I don't know. Sometimes you start crying. You don't know why you're crying. You start crying. The tears comes from your eyes. You don't know. You can't even control. You will just cry like that. Some connection, something happens. That's transformation. That type of transformation is called Rudraha. So here Vishnu Murti is also considered to be a Rudra because there is so many rupams of Vishnu. One is called Sankarshana Murti. So during the Pralaya Kala, he takes the Sankarshana Murti Swarupam. So that is very much which has been recorded even in the Rudra Japam. Also Sankarshana Swarupo Yo Aso Aditya Paramapurusha Sa Yesha Rudro Devata. So this is how they record that in the Rudra main portion itself. So we can understand that. So he is a Sankarshana Murti, one who bestows that. So it is very important to understand that Rudram means who causes the transformation, who makes you change, who breaks your all your comfort zone and makes you compel you to change. Because change is inevitable. It's a process of evolution. You cannot be the same mentality what you had from those days. Right now, if you are matured, you have to be mature. If you have to go for some more ways of understanding, you have to travel. So that's why we say it is very important to understand. So Rudra is a person who makes you the change. Compulsion of his change happens. Next one is Bahu Shiraha. Shiram means head. Bahu means multiple. As I have already told you, so for Vishnu Murti, there is a slokam Sagatrasirisham Devam Visbhaksham Vishwasambhavam. So when it says that Sagastrasirshaha, that means he has 1,000 heads. So 1,000 is not a count. You don't understand? So it is not just a number. It's not just to have a count. Okay. So because as we don't know how to count, we are just saying, oh, seems to be 1,000 and 1,000. Like sometimes if you are allowed to see, and you don't say, you can say billion, zillion, gazillion. Nowadays we are using so many words. Quadrillion and all those things, words which are using. That means what? We can't count. It is in what is that? Indefinitely, we cannot give the number there. Infinite numbers are there, right? So it is infinity. We cannot say infinity. So we seeing that multiple time, the multiple head which is there. So what does it represent? The attribute, what does it represent here? Is Vishnu Murti having multiple head means what? He plays different roles in the different place. That's what we need to understand. He has a different role. He plays different role in different places. As a universe, he is one of the person who has mixed with everything, but yet he is aloof of that. And then he is also watching as an observation. As an observer, he is also watching what is happening in the universe. So basically what happened, it is his own will and wish, which is occupied in the entire universe and which is running in this universe. And also he is watching that. So that's why we say he has so many heads, multiple. So he's doing what? Multitasking he is doing. He's doing multiple tasks and multitasking he's doing. So that is why he says Bahusiraha. Bhabruhu. Bhabruhu. Bhabruhu means one who holds. One who holds. One who upholds. So one he is going to have a holding capacity. What does he hold? As a Varaha Rupam, he holded the earth. He was holding the earth. He dig the earth from the earth has been put down to the Patala Lokam. So he went down as a Varaha Rupam Adi Varaha Murti, and then he was digging the earth and he's going down and he was trying to take out the total planet Earth out of that where it has been put down. Okay. So he was trying to hold it in his tusk. So Varahamurti. Adisesha, we also still understand in Sanatana Dharmam, Adisesha is the person who is holding the universe which is floating there. Right? So it is also, we understand in Sanatana Dharma, we do have a belief that Adisesha is holding. So there is some people we always understand they hold. So what do you mean by holding here? The quality of holding is something which we are trying to put the principles on the top. So we need to understand that principle on the top is the holding. So what is very important? The content, the principle. What principle we have? Dharma. So dharma is placed as the top. The priority is always given for dharma. So that is why we say Babruhu. Because he always protects the dharma. He always lives for the dharma. He always works for that moral principle. So that's why dharmam is always on the top. So that is what he is trying to uphold the dharma. Vishwayonihi. Vishwayonihi. Very good, very, very important point. Yoni means the womb of the mother. Okay, the womb. So Vishwayonihi means the entire universe is on its womb. The entire concept of universe is within his womb. That is what we understand. So what happens in the process of womb? A child who without a unicellular or what we say as a unicellular species, as a sperm, which goes and mates with the egg, and then the formation of a child happens within the womb. Am I right? So a small organism which goes into an egg and then it gets into a shape, and then even that shape is not being formed, it becomes a pindam, and from the pindam everything it starts. Everything emerges. So in the womb, what happens? It creates, it holds, it creates, it gives the life, it gives the survival, it creates, that gives the formation for that entire child. And after that 10 months, we can say that mostly the 10 months is 273 days. That is the real calculation what they say. After 273 days, the child comes out. If it is a normal delivery baby, it should be 273 to 275 days. Then normally the baby comes out. So this is how the baby has been formed in the womb of a mother. Now the question is, the same way God is putting the entire formation of the universe within his womb, he created, he gave the formation. He gave, see, this is the land, or this is a tree, this is sea, this is ocean, this is lake, this is pond, this is fish. Everything he created, and all these creations came into the universe. They were showing their own existence. They showed their own survival. They started living. So what does it mean? So he created, he united, he put them all. So there we can always understand Vishwayonihi means it is union of, uniting, union. So what does the union mean? Here, when we say about his quality, we can say it is union between us with him. How do we unite ourselves with him? What way we are trying to unite? A union between us and the God. So that is what we always say as Vishwayonihi, union of ourselves. So devotees are united. So devotees, he tried to unite all the devotees within him. So basically, he takes them into his own hand. He protects them in hand. So who is the best example what we can think about in Srivilliputtur? The Andal Nachia, who merged, so merging, union, who merged with the Narayana. So we know that. Meera merged. So many Bhakta Vijaya stories we can see that they all merged with the Vishnu. And also for the Nayanmars, they merged with the Shiva. Right? They merged with the Shiva. So what does it mean? They are merging means this is what it is called union. So you go back to that same God. So divinity, returning to back to the divinity. So this is what is called Vishva Yonihi. Shushishravaha. So the next nama is called Shushishrava. What does Shushishrava means? One who has a pure and nothing like praising for some other reason. Pure devotees' words, pure heart words. What is called as Shushishrava. Okay? Pure devotees' words from the pure heart. And he also listened to them. This is a very important understanding. He always listened to those devotees. If they come with the pure heart, and if he understands they are with the pure heart, he doesn't have any problem. Even if it is a small, even their status or cadre is very, very low also, he is ready to listen to them. The entire Mahabharata, you can see his devotion with Vidura, Krishna's devotion and the Vidura's devotion towards Krishna was remarkable. When you see that the status, by the way that he lived and all the things, he was living in a hut, he was having a very small house, considered to be the palace by the Dhritarashtra, or even the Pandavaputras, they had Indraprastham. So when you compare this, he was not having a big one. He was just appointed as a minister by Dhritarashtra, and he was one of the minister who was there. But still, Dhritarashtra never listened to his own brother, Vidura. He is considered to be his own brother, but he never listened to his own brother. So it is very clear. It is very clear that Vidura was not given a big status there. Even in the war also he was neglected because they don't want him to be, like Duryodhana started giving a hate speech, and then the Vidura got angry and he broke his own Vishnu Dhanush, what he was having, and he threw it out in the palace, and he said, I am not going to be participating in the Yuddha. Right? So he was out from the war. So what I want to say is, Krishna, every time when he comes, he listens to Vidura. So Vidura will say, Vidura will talk. So he will just keep on listening to Vidura. And the way that one of the narration it goes, the story that they goes, Vidura was talking and talking because he was seeing the Krishna, and by seeing the Krishna, his own devotion, he didn't know what he is doing. He took the banana strip, he wants to peel off the skin, and he gave the skin and he threw the real fruit down on the earth, on the ground. And you see that Paramatma Krishna ate the skin, and he not even complained to Vidura saying that, Are, you are giving me the skin, not the real fruit. And he is also eating. What is that? The devotion from the pure heart is what is essential to God. This is the incident what we need to understand. Devotion with the pure heart is very, very important. It doesn't matter whether you give a skin or not. That doesn't mean that tomorrow you just give the skin to Krishna. No. What I'm saying is, it's a devotion what matters. It's about the quality what matters, not the quantity what it means. The quality is very, very important. The quality time what you spend with the God is very important. That's why we say this Shushishravaha. Amrtaha, next word is called Amrtaha. What do you mean by Amrtaha? Immortal. He is always living. Where does he live? Where does he live? Where is the place? Where is the abode for God? Beautifully said. Shankaracharya, the current Shankaracharya, 70th pontiff today of Kanchimat, Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigal, once in a Bhajan Mandali, he was giving beautiful talk. He was telling there are three places where Bhagavan is always found. There are three places where the Bhagavan is found. Number one, he said Ravaye in Surya Mandalam. Ravaye. In the Surya Mandalam, he is always seen. So that's why Surya considered to be, the Surya means one talking about the sun. The sun as the primary source, sun contains all the devatas in it. Ravaye. Vaikunte, where the God is there, the abode of God is Vaikuntam. So where he sees, see the way that it connotes, right? So two places, but this one we can see, one we don't know. It is something as an abstract. Let us understand. We don't know. Vaikuntam is a place we always be here. We don't know. It seems to be an abstract one. So S, Vaikuntam. But Ravaye, sun, we know that sun has a lot of energy. So we understand sun has more devatas. More energies are basically the devatas which are there. So devata. And third one, he said beautifully, Bhaktanam Hridaye. Bhaktanam Hridaye. So a God resides in the pure heart of the devotee. Now the question is, Shushishravaha, pure mind, pure heart. When the God is residing in the pure mind and pure heart of a devotee who is sincere and lovable, who is sincerely showing his devotion, then what happens? Altogether, he is immortal. God is also immortal. The person who is thinking is also immortal. Because you become divine. It's a very simple way. Because, see, you always constantly integrated your awareness towards that God, and every minute and every second you are only thinking about that God. So you become the God. So the moment you become the God, you are divine. You become immortal. Finish. So that is what is called Amritaha. It's not something which you are trying to find a nectar which has come out of this churning of a milk ocean and all. That's a physical form what has been represented. But the real meaning of Amritaha means you become immortal. Immortality will be happening because God is immortal. You can only think about the immortal thing which can give you that immortality. So immortal thing, what you can think about, which is the divine. How when you think the immortal thing in your mind always and constantly you're integrating, you're surrendering to that, you're always keeping in your mind with a pure-hearted devotion, then what happens? You become the God. You become immortal. So this is basically how we integrate ourselves with this divine vibration. The next one which says Shashvata Sthanuhu. Already we have seen Shashvataha Sthanuhu. So now we are just joining together, which we talk about what is called Shashvataha Sthanuhu. So what is that? He is always eternal and steady. One who is always eternal and steady is considered to be Shashvataha. Shashvata means steady. He is always there, permanent. Sthanuhu, who cannot be shaken. So both, he is always present. Correct? So where do we see this? It is not about the physical form. It is about the mental vibration, the connection the devotees have on the deity. Okay, as long as the deity is thought in the mind of the devotee, as long as the deity, the Lord has been always in the thought process of the devotee, he is always eternal and steady. He is not going to vanish. Even the minute you think he is going to come. Right? Many incidents where Draupadi has got his greatest blessings by just thinking of him. Even in a very great circumstances, very great places where they had a difficulties, situation, decisions are given by Krishna anytime. That's why Krishna protected the Pandavas. Like anything. Like a eyeball has been protected by your eyelids. Yes, protected. So that is really good because we can understand they were always connected. Eternally and steadily they were connected. The next one is Vararoha. Vararoha. So what does it mean? This refers to Vararoha. This refers to God's physical attribute, the divine attribute of the God. What it talks about, always referring to his lap, the divine lap. The divine lap he has shared with his own pure devotees. See, understand in this verses what we are talking about. It is all about the devotees' qualities, what has been shown, exhibited by the devotees, the pure devotees' devotions and the love by which he gets the benefit. So this entire verse we can see that this is what he says. This is what the Vyasa through the Bhishmacharya is giving the note to us. If your devotion is very sincere, you can get all these things from Bhagavan. Simply. So he says, Vararoha. He can even allow you to sit on his lap. Think about very Aghora Murti. He was very furious, ferocious faced Narasimha. Killed the Hiranya, own father. And Prahalada as a small child standing there. He called the Prahalada and he put to make him to sit on his lap. Sit on his lap. Beautiful. Beautiful understanding. So what does it mean? If your devotion is very sincere, even the greatest Narasimha Murti will calm down, cool down, and he will come to you. If your devotion is very sincere. That's why even the Devas told, Arey, we can't control his anger. You are the only person. You called him and he came. Please, you tell him, he will subsidize. He will go, his angers will cool down. Beautiful. Prahalada says Stuti for Narasimha Stuti, then he calms down. Beautiful. See, this is the beauty of the devotion. This is the beauty of the devotion. God will listen only for devotees with a pure heart. This is the message, what you need to understand. The entire message, what you want to say, take away from the Vishnu Sahasranamam. What is that? God will listen. If your mind and the devotion is pure, God will listen to you. And he will speak, he will connect, he will grant, he will do what it is. It's a beautiful understanding. Because this word is not from me. This word is not me saying it. This word is what Bhishmacharya is saying. This word is what given by Vishnu Sahasranamam. So God is ready to give us. Only thing is, it should be a pure devotion from the pure heart. You are just seeking that devotion. With that devotion, you are seeking his blessing. He will come. And how he will come? And why he has to come? What type of character he does have? He is called Mahatapaha. Mahatapaha. They say he has enormous wealth. It's one of the wealth is called tapa. Beautifully said. I would say tapa means greatest knowledge. Tapas is called as the greatest knowledge. Okay? So there is another way of understanding. Tapas. Tapas means not only meditation, doing penance. Just sitting in the forest and get rid of all the mundane life and sitting in a forest and doing tapas. Not that's the tapas. That's the only tapas what we are referring to. Tapas means having greatest knowledge. Knowledge means we are referring to wisdom. Having the greatest wisdom. How do we get the wisdom? The wisdom is only by the grace of God. So by all these things, what is the benefit you are going to gain? Mahatapaha. If you want in the mundane life, you want to learn, you want to live, he can give you the wealth. If you want to live with the Atma Bhalam, Atma Shuddhi, Atma Jnanam, he will also bestow that knowledge to you. So this is what we get the message from the Vishnu Sahasranamam. The beautiful understanding. Okay, so the verse number 14, which goes like this: Sarvaha Sarvavidbhanuhu, Sarvaha Sarvavidbhanu, Visvaksheno Janardanaha, Vedo Veda Vidavyango, Vedhango Veda Vidkavihi. Sarvaha. Sarvaha. What is called Sarva? One who can reach any place. One who can reach any place. Omnipresently he can travel. What is that which can travel? And what is that which is always available everywhere? Beautifully said. Swami Paramarthananda in Bhagavad Gita commentary he writes. So when I compare, sometimes we get these points here and there. He says, how do you equate the God to certain things, to understand the nature of the God, the nature of divinity? This is a beautiful understanding for us to do, to ponder on it. For all the say, he takes only the five tattvas, five bhutas, panchabhutas, right? Talk about air. You feel it physically. You don't see it, but you can feel it, right? Because it has sparsha. Air has sparsha. Fire has a rupam. Fire has a rupam because you can see, right? You can see. Water, it can take the form of any container, wherever it is. Rupam is there. You can touch. Fire also you can touch, but you have to be careful. Okay, I'm just telling you. But water, if you pour into a container, it becomes the form of a container. You can touch the water, you can feel the water. And what is one of the quality of the water? Rasa. What is rasa? Taste. Water has a taste. So it is physical. So now see that. What I am defining. Air, physical. Fire, physical. Water, physical. 100% physical is earth. Because you see, you can feel, you can touch, you can put in your mouth, it has a taste, and also it has gandham. It has a smell. Now, out of all these things, tell me, do we have any physical attribute to space? Do we have any physical attribute to the space? Akasha Tattva doesn't have any physical attribute. But Vedam defines Akasho Sabdaha. It makes a sound. All the Vedic vibrations have emanated from the space. Okay, Akasho Sabdaha. So we have a space. Okay, space is open. Space is something unlimited. Space is something which is sarvavyapi. You understand? Space is something very much sarvavyapi. Why I am equating is sarvaha. Here, what we talk about, it's a space element. So divine quality can be equated to space. Also, your Atma, the self, what we are talking about, sometimes this could be a question, right? So when you talk to some people of a different understanding, they will ask you, what is self? How do I understand there is a self inside me? I know the self is only for the bike, motorbike or something with the engines what we have. A self starter is there. But how do I know there is a self within me? When you talk about Atma, all this Sukshma Swarupam, Atma, Nainam Chintayanti, Nainam Pashyanti, all these things becomes very much abstract for them to understand. What is the best way to define? Can you see space? You can only understand the space. You cannot see the space. You understand? You cannot see the space. You can understand because something is there which has been filled with other things. It's very open. So when space is the same way, space is the same tattva for your Atma also. So when space is filled everywhere, Atma is also filled with it. So that's what it says, Sarvaha. Sarva Vidbhanuhu. Sarva Vidbhanuhu. So he knows all the Vidyas. Sarva Vid means he knows all the Vidyas. What is Sarva Vidya? Vidya, when we say Vidya, we are not talking, still again, we are not talking about the mundane knowledge what we are talking about. Worldly knowledge is not what we are referring to. We are referring to those type of wisdom like Atmanya. So those things can be only bestowed by the God, because if you understand, if you even have an attempt to think about, there is something called self, something happens within me, something is there, some consciousness is working on me. I don't understand, but still I would believe there is something which is governing. If we understand that, definitely yes. And that type of a knowledge, he's like Bhanu. Bhanu means he is Surya. He's like a sun who is bestowing the greatest knowledge to you. Because he has every knowledge, especially with this self-understanding or self-realizing knowledge. So he gives you that. Visvakshena, this one we already saw when we were discussing about the very second verse of the introductory sloka. Yashat bharatavakratyaha parishadya parachatam. There we are talking about Visvakshena Tamashraye. So Visvakshena is considered to be one of the main commander of Narayana Sena. One who wards off all the obstacles. Now, how do we equate this to the Nama here, and how do we equate to the understanding of the attribute and the guna or quality? Very simple. We understand the divine, we understand the divine is everywhere. Then when you understand this understanding, he will be the protector. Simple way to understand. Obstacles can go out from you when you understand the divinity, when you understand the knowledge, because obstacles are only created by ourselves. Sometimes we interlock ourselves and these obstacles comes to us. Sometimes we are not smart enough to understand what is happening there. So it causes you the alertness for you. So the alertness are given to you basically by the Visvakshena. So he always sits with us to make you understand what is happening. So to reflect on. Janardana, very important word, right? Janardana. Very famous word for Narayana Murti, who is called Janardana. One who causes the wicked peoples to cry, to make them cry. Now, this is not about the happy tears. This is about really making them sorrow. Why? Because these are wicked peoples, asuras, demons, dhanavas. They have to be killed. They have to be got rid of. So who does this work? Janardana. So when we talk about this wicked, we're not only talking about the demon qualities, we are talking about the demonic qualities which we have inside us, which we have inside our mind. See, always in reference, in pretext with your own self, you have to reverberate on these namas. Because as I told you, it is always about the gunas. So gunas have to be imbibed by you. So how do I become the Janardana? Simple. You are going to seek the divine. So when you understand the divine, when the light of divinity comes into you, what happens? It automatically gets rid of all your enemies, what is you having in your mind. All your demonic qualities, what are all the tamo gunas, what you have, will get out from you. So that's why tamo guna has to be water. So basically establishing more of sattvic guna. So rajo guna has to go and tamo guna has to go. So you become stabilized with the sattvic guna. So that is basically how we are understanding the gunas of the God. It is more sattvic gunas. That's why it's called kalyana guna. They are more sattvic gunas, where you can always connect with the divinity only through the sattvic guna. Okay, and also there is a hitch also, but I will refer that later, because there is. So when you establish yourself in the sattvic way, when you keep yourself in the sattvic understanding, So then what happens? Your other gunas are being out. So then you understand that's the work of a Janardana. Veda. What is Veda? Veda is total knowledge. It's a mula. It's a total knowledge, the seed of everything. Understanding the total knowledge is something which is from the grant of the nature. Even if a portion of a Veda, even if a 1% of the Veda, if we can understand, if 1% of the Veda which you can get into your mind, that itself is a very big thing. That's why God said, so beautifully said, we cannot study the Veda directly to understand, because if something happens, the Veda Mata will become so anxious. She will think, oh my God, this fellow is misunderstanding all my literatures and all my real meaning of it. So that's why what she did, that in the Srishti, they have created the Itihasa and Purana. That's why we say Itihasa Purana Abhyam Vedam Saupa Brahmayeti. To understand the Veda, it is very important to read the Itihasas and Puranas, because Itihasas and Puranas, if you can decodify it and then bring out all the mystic understanding of it, and you demystify that, you will understand the real essence of that Itihasa and Purana, which is nothing but the Vedic codification. It's the Vedic codification, nothing but Vedic codification. Everything will be from the Vedas, whatever is being given, it will be reverberating here under the Itihasas and Puranas with the stories, legends, which have been hearsay stories, and some of them are historical stories which have been recorded. So that is what is called total knowledge. Veda with. It's not only Veda, he is the person who understands, who knows what is Veda. Understanding and mastering Veda is always a very difficult thing. One of the Rishi, he was praying to Brahma and he told, you give me so many years, of life, so that let me go and read the Vedas and come. He was given one whole life. At the end of the life, he came, and then Brahma came and asked him what happened. He said, I have studied only Rig Veda, I have not completed the other 3 Vedas. Give me some more life. Then he gave another life. Then he came back. He said, in the Yajurveda, I have only studied about Krishna Yajur. I didn't go for the Shukla Yajur. I have to study. Give me some more. So then Brahma bestowed some more. Then he came, he says, no, in the Shukla Yajur, I am still seeing so many literatures, I can't even finish. Then Brahma told, see, what you are trying to do is taking a handful of sand in your hand and saying that you can study everything. No, it is not possible, because Veda is fully filled in the universe. So there is only one who can understand the Veda, and only one who can know every Veda is only Narayana Murti. That's why he is called Veda Swarupam, Veda Narayana. So no one knows about it, because it's Sutshama. Some of things are very Sutshama. Some of the Vedas we don't even have. Some of the mandalas we don't even have. Some of the mandalas are out of the practice today. Out of practice. In Samavedam also there are so many mandalas. Only some of them have been practiced. Many are out because no one to practice it. They're slowly going out. So it is very important that as a crux we are talking about Vedic knowledge and Vedic vibration and Vedic understanding we need to bring. It is very important that we have to go and protect this Veda. So Veda with, who is that? Veda Narayana. Avyangaha, Angaha, Avyaha, Angaha means what? No, to be very frank, to be in a very open word, we can say not physically challenged. But in a real colloquial understanding of a guna, his gunas are doesn't having any Vedas. All the Kalyana gunas. I'm talking about Kalyana gunas. Guna Vedam, if it is with the bad gunas, are good. But if the gunas, for the good one, there is no Vedam, no problem. So that is what we say, Avyangaha. So his gunas are incomplete. He doesn't have any problem in expressing the guna, especially Avyaja Karuna. Karuna guna is Karunya Murti. So he doesn't have any problem with showering his love to any devotees. As long as the devotee is pure and sincere, he's very happy. It doesn't matter whether you are a rich boy or a rich person or of this quality or this knowledge, doesn't matter. For him, everyone is same. Vedangaha, Veda Angaha. Vedanga means basically all the end product of the Veda, the knowledge at the end of the Veda. Mostly the Upanishads and everything which comes under that. Okay? So Vedangaha. So all these Angaha of Vedas are also his own portion, his own parts. And Vedavit, and one who does research in Vedas. One who does research in Vedas. How does he does the research? He practically demonstrates. Right? See, research means what? You take one and then you show it because it's a formula. So when you see in a lab, when you go to the lab and you say there is a salt and then you pour some hydrochloric acid or an nitric acid and then you say that this is an extract, what you're going to get out of it. The result is salt and water, and then what you're going to get out of it, and then this is what is the process of doing it. Or if it is going, taking a pipette and burette and sucking some of the liquid and then putting on that, and then neutralization reaction, what you want to do through the volumetric analysis, whatever you're doing in the chemistry lab or something like that. But I'm just giving you an example of that and an example. So what happens? There is a formula, there is a way, there is a process by which you test it. Same way, there is Vedas are like a scientific formulas for us. Vedas are the great knowledge formulas for us. What he did, he took a formula, he wants to demonstrate, he demonstrated as Rama. He demonstrated as Varahamurti. He demonstrated as a Machavatara. He demonstrated as an Narasimhamurti. So he demonstrated those formulas by applying his own avatars, and he showed how it would. So that's why we can say that he is a scientist. One who has applied, one who demonstrated, one who showed how it works. So that's why he is considered to be a scientist. So he has done it. Kavihi. Kavihi. One who is called Kavita. Kavita Vilasam means one who has a great broad understanding of many things. When I have a very narrow understanding, I am not an expressive person. Understand? See, thinking subjective and thinking objective is different. Objective thinking, formula type. Subjective thinking, that's where your scientist knowledge will come. Because you should be questioning yourself with many things, right? So you should be questioning, will this work? Will this work? Will this work? Will this work? So then only you can have an approach of scientific. So you should have a scientific means subjective and objective approach of understanding the concept. And especially when you say Kavita Vilasam, especially one who writes literature, right? So he experiences many things and expresses in the words. How is possible? He gets all the things, he grasps it, and then he is trying to express them openly to you. See, Brahma, Narada gave a nutshell to Valmiki. It's called Samkshepa Ramayana. Okay, the entire Ramayana is given in the nutshell by Narada Muni to Valmiki. So he got the message. Then expansion is the entire Valmiki Ramayana. Then Brahma gives him the vision of understanding many things. Clarity. And then he writes it. So now he sees this is what Kavita Vilasam is. So you can expand it, express it. And it stands for the world, it stands for yugas, right? It stands for the yugas. Not a single formula is standing now for a yuga. But these granthas are standing for yugas. Remember, what is the very oldest literature what we have in the world is Vedam. Very old literature, what we have still in the world. Tell me, which is the very, very oldest literature we have? Only Vedas are the very oldest literature. Upanishads are the very oldest literature. So we have this treasure in our hand. Puranas and Itihasas for us, the oldest literature. So these have been expressed by the Kavis, the rishis, who cognized and they have written. So that's why it's called Kavita Vilasam. What does it mean? Who has a very broad thinking, not just a very, very narrow line or a narrow way of looking at it. It's a broad view, what we talk about, right? So that is basically how this entire verse comes. So in both the verses, what we see is how a devotee can be so associated with the divine, how we understand the divine quality, and how we be in an integrated awareness always, so that we imbibe his vibration every day, so that we will be always in his own smarana. So this is basically how it has been given here. So one thing which we understand is God is ready to listen to us. As long as we are in our pure mind and a pure heart, we are ready to knock his door and call him any moment, any minute, any second. He will definitely descend. So we don't need a physical form. Devana Manushya Rupana. So he can come in any form. He can come in any form and he can give you that enlightenment. He can give you that knowledge. He can give you that solution. He can give you that proper guidance any minute in any form. So only thing is we should be very, very open, ready to welcome him any day. So let us prepare ourselves with all these understanding. So we are getting more clarity about how a devotee should be more connected with the divinity. Okay. So with that, I stop here. Hari Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmanabha Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaye Samarpayami Yadakshara Pada Prashtam Matra Hinam Tuyad Bhavet Tatsharvam Shamyada Deva Narayana Namostute Vishargabindu Matrani Padapadaksharaani Cha Nunani Chattiriktani Chammishya Purushottama अन्यदाचरणं नास्ति त्वमेव चरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष रक्ष जनार्दन हरि ओम तत्सत् इति श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्य परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषां को ब्राह्मणेभ्य शुभमस्तु नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति शांति शांति।